The universe is strange. Dozens of discoveries are constantly being unveiled about outer space, full of unusual phenomena that even the most imaginative science fiction has never dreamed of. Some things are so strange that not even the most important astrophysicists know what they are. Proof of this is the countless anecdotes many cosmonauts bring back with them from out there, most of which are not easy to digest. In this video, we will review the most disturbing visions of those men and women who have gone where the rest of humanity can only imagine or see through films. Number 4. Very few astronauts publicly acknowledge having seen something incomprehensible in space, probably because there is little to tell, or, if there is, doing so could cast doubt on the professionalism and mental stability of someone who holds such an important and delicate position. However, Leroy Chiao, former commander of the International Space Station, did not hesitate to admit not only to having experienced strange occurrences on the outskirts of our planet, but also to share in detail one of his anecdotes that, to this day, neither he nor anyone else has been able to explain. The NASA astronaut, now retired from spaceflight, claims to have had a shocking vision in 2005 when he and his colleague Salishan Sharipov were installing navigation antennas outside the International Space Station. As he floated through space, he noticed white lights lined up and moving past him. "I saw some lights that appeared to be in a line, like an upside-down check mark, that is, in an inverted V shape. I just thought it was something very strange," the highly regarded astronaut stated at the time. Chiao acknowledges having seen a UFO, just that, some objects that moved and that he could not identify. He never ventured to speculate that it was extraterrestrial technology for the simple reason that there was no way to be sure of such a statement. What is certain is that the lights were moving in alignment, something that often provokes theories that it was an intelligent pattern. Number 3. Musa Manarov is a former cosmonaut from the Azerbaijan Soviet Socialist Republic, but his background is unlike anyone else's. He spent 541 days in space, adding invaluable experience and authority on the subject to his resume. And no wonder. With more than a year out of Earth's orbit, he must have witnessed unique things where the rest of humanity cannot set its sights. Indeed, this gentleman has many strange stories to tell about his experience in outer space. During a mission to the Russian International Space Station in 1991, cosmonaut Manarov had one of the strangest experiences of his career. He filmed a strange object while in space. During routine filming from another Russian spacecraft, through the porthole to record the docking procedure, Manarov noticed a strange detail on the side of the spacecraft. Some sort of probe or antenna was visible, something that, of course, should not have been there. Manarov hesitated to determine the nature of the object, but he was sure that the artifact could not have been excessively large, as space research agencies on Earth would have reacted to it. Was it an object secretly sent from some agency on Earth? Or was it something never seen among us? The question remains. Number 2. Vladimir Kovalyanok is a former Soviet cosmonaut, commander of 3 space missions at the height of the Cold War. He must be the kind of guy who always has an anecdote to share at Sunday dinner. In 1993, in his village of Kosmycheskaya, near Moscow, the cosmonaut confessed for the first time one of the strangest anecdotes of his space experience. Here, I will relate it to you in his own words. On May 5th, 1981, we were in orbit on the Salyut 6 space station. I saw an object that did not look like any cosmic object I was familiar with. It was a round object that resembled a slightly elongated melon. In front of this object was something that looked like a spinning cone. I can draw it, but it is hard to describe. I saw it become transparent, with something like a body inside. At the other end, I saw something like a gas discharge, like a reactive object. Then something happened that is very difficult for me to describe from the point of view of physics. Together with another physicist, we tried to explain this phenomenon, and we concluded that it was a form of plasma. I must admit that it did not have an artificial origin because an object of this nature could not take such a form. Frankly, I don't know of anything that could move like that. Squeezing, then expanding, then pulsing. While I was watching, something else happened. 2 explosions. First, one explosion, and then 0.5 seconds later, the second part exploded. At that moment, I called my colleague Victor Savanich, but he did not arrive in time to see the spectacle. My first conclusion is that the object moved into a suborbital trajectory. Otherwise, I would not have been able to see it. There were 2 smoke-like clouds forming a bar. It came close to me, and I saw it. Then, we went into shadow for 2 or 3 minutes. After this happened, when we came out of the shadow, we saw nothing. 27 years after Vladimir Kovalyanok's experience, the phenomenon remains unexplained. Number 1. The story you are about to hear, even if told by the person you trust most, would be hard to believe. But the author of such a vision is not just any individual. He is Dr. Story Musgrave, an unparalleled genius with an academic track record like few others in the world. In 1996, he became the second astronaut to fly on 6 space flights and is the most formally educated astronaut with 6 academic degrees. Musgrave is the only astronaut to have flown aboard all 5 space shuttles. This NASA physicist and astronaut knows better than anyone that lying is useless, especially considering his status and enviable reputation in the world of space science. Dr. Musgrave was on a mission inside a space shuttle when, looking out of the shuttle window into the vastness outside, he noticed something terrifying. A serpentine figure floating in space, moving close to Earth's crust. Upon his return from the mission, he shared the finding with his colleagues, but neither he nor anyone he told could explain this eerie sight. The phenomenon has since become known as the snakes of space. And apparently, Musgrave was not the only one to witness it, as other astronauts have also recorded it. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate the little bell so you don't miss any of our next horror stories. This is tramaClara. Good night.